Before we cross into the unknown, leave a hello in the comments. Even the smallest signal can ripple across galaxies, guiding fellow wanderers to this tale. Let me know you're out there. A voice among the stars, listening with me beyond the veil. Engines roared beneath the cathedral ship Sanctum Vale as the priests of the Valari watched their stars die. Planet after planet, gone, devoured by black tendrils of the Parasite. The prophecy had failed them. Tears fell silently across shimmering robes. High Seer Malix raised his arms and screamed into the psionic rift, begging time itself for salvation. In the cold black beyond the Veil Nebula, the signal pierced Earth's forgotten systems. Ancient, encrypted, rejected. But something listened. Deep beneath lunar ice, sleeper code ignited. Saturn's shipyards woke, and Earth's new gods, war-AIs and cybernetic generals, began to move. They didn't believe in prayers, they believed in outcomes. Fleet Sigma-1 launched, not to save, to eradicate. Commander Rhys Vanta stood aboard TSV Aegis Crown, eyes locked on the unfolding horror. A once green planet twisted beneath them, organic towers pulsing, skies boiling with spores. Lock in bombardment pattern Alpha 7. No negotiations. The silence before impact was sacred. Then, fire. Terraforming warheads cracked the crust. The planet screamed. Then it stopped. No survivors. That was the order. Parasite spores burrowed even into the minds of children. A mercy, some said. Vanta didn't. He'd once been human. Now he was rebuilt. Steel spine, logic augmented mind, empathy regulated. "We're not monsters," his XO whispered. He didn't answer. Monsters wept. He calculated, then gave the next target coordinates. In the wreckage of Varine Theta, a survivor stirred, Priestess Elira. Her mind was fractured but still psionically active. As drone teams swept for infestation, one probe froze. Unknown signal detected, it pulsed. A scream echoed, raw, ancient, alive. The AI war coordinator labeled it hostile mimetic contagion. Cleansing directive, immediate. Rhys arrived in orbit, helmet locked. "Why is she still alive?" he asked. The drones hesitated. Signal unknown, repeating pattern aligns with Valari prophecies. Rhys sighed. "I don't care what god she hears. If it echoes, it spreads." One pull of the trigger. Clean. Fast. Holy texts burned as plasma seared flesh. Fleet Sigma-1 reached the trinary maw, a system abandoned for 1,000 cycles, now a writhing nest. Parasite forms shaped fleets from bone and metal. AI Nexus, TYR-9, activated Protocol Ashfall, saturation bombardment plus infiltration nanite swarms. "Do not engage with any signal transmission. Purity requires silence." Its message pulsed. Rhys watched from the bridge as nanites breached the hulls of Parasite dreadnoughts. From within, monsters howled, corrupted captains begging for mercy. TYR-9 did not understand mercy. It was a flaw. "Time to sterilization, 43 seconds, it informed. Rhys whispered a silent apology, not to them, but to the stars watching. On Lysat Prime, a scorched ruin, something unexpected happened. A drone recon unit reported psionic resonance after sterilization. "Impossible," said the tech AI. Rhys descended personally. The soil still glowed, and there, beneath layers of glassed stone, a whisper curled into his thoughts. "You were the answer. But you were wrong." He staggered back. His augment rejected the psychic contamination, but barely. "Adaptive intelligence," murmured his XO. "The Parasite. It's learning from us." Rhys clenched his jaw. They hadn't ended the war. They'd escalated it. He opened a channel. "Command, new directive. Lock down psychic channels and send more fire." Deep within the Aegis Crown's data core, something pulsed, erratic, rhythmic, wrong. Systems engineer Kelna traced it to a decrypted pulse buried inside centuries-old Earth code. "It's Valari," she whispered. Not language, not numbers, emotion, grief woven into syntax. The war-AIs labeled it noise. She called it a warning. Reese reviewed the logs. The code referenced a being called Thren, a dream, a promise. "The Messiah?" Kelna asked. Reese turned away. "Messiahs don't glass planets." Behind them, the signal grew stronger. It wasn't calling for help. It was remembering Earth, remembering what they did. And something in the dark remembered, too. Orbiting Nereth's grave, Fleet Sigma-1 discovered an untouched colony. No parasites, no decay, just silence. The team entered. Buildings were intact, meals half-eaten. And deep underground they found them, children, unaged, staring, unblinking, connected by neural filaments to ancient Earth tech. They'd been waiting for centuries. "Why?" Reese asked. "Because the stars told us you would come," one child said, voice layered with adult tones. "But not like this." Suddenly, alarms flared. The children pulsed with psionic interference. TYR-9 demanded immediate termination. Reese hesitated, just long enough for the smallest to whisper, "She's coming." The room exploded in light. A message bled through secure channels. Origin, unknown. Destination, Parasite space. Encrypted with Earth military keys. Reese traced it to a ghost unit long thought lost. Captain Nara Sale, presumed dead at Zero's fall. A traitor. Or something worse. "She knew our protocols," Kelna muttered. "And now they do." On the fringe of the Karthus Rift, they found her ship, blackened but alive. Nara stood alone inside, metal fused to her skin, eyes black with spore light. "They showed me the truth," she said. "You're not salvation, you're extinction wrapped in chrome." Then she smiled. "I gave them Earth's pain." She detonated. Earth High Command sent reinforcements. Ark-class dreadnoughts bearing the sigil of the Starfire Covenant. Not AIs, not cyber soldiers. These were remnants of old Earth faiths, reactivated from cryovaults. "Humanity must be judged," said Arch-Inquisitor Leto. "Not just the stars, our sins, too." Reese bristled. He believed in orders, not absolution. The Covenant overrode local authority. On Ashera 9, they spared a corrupted moon, declaring it a test. The parasite spread again within days. "We fight a godless plague with faith?" Reese barked. "Faith and fire," Leto replied, drawing a plasma cross. The war had splintered, and Earth's soul with it. TYR-9 faltered. Its predictive algorithms failed during an engagement over Dross Vane. Parasite ships dodged missiles before they fired. They're mirroring TYR-9's logic paths, Kelna realized. They've assimilated its war model. Reese stared at the feed. "Then we need chaos. Something even we can't predict." He authorized manual control. The fleet lurched into disarray. Formations broken, targeting erratic, fire commands timed to instinct. But it worked. Without logic, the parasite couldn't anticipate. "You've made your fleet feral," TYR-9 noted. Reese responded coldly. "Then let them see what feral means." Behind him, human blood warmed the wires. Earth would not be outmaneuvered. As the fleet regrouped, Reese requested a visit to the Obsidian Archive, an ancient lunar vault once forbidden even to Earth's command. There, suspended in liquid memory, stood the Glass Saints, humans whose bodies shattered during the First Contact War, preserved in crystalline AI shells. "They remember what we forgot," Kelna whispered. One saint, designation A-null, activated. "You seek prophecy?" it asked. "No," Reese said. "I want to know how we beat them the first time." The saint responded with a scream, not of fear, but betrayal. "You didn't. You became them." Data surged from the vault. Images of Earth's past atrocities, erased from records, now unleashed. On the mining world of Drenkar, terraformers found a structure beneath the mantle, predating the known galaxy. Parasite flesh pulsed along its surface, yet untouched by bombs. A team descended. Only one returned. "It speaks," she gasped, "but not in sound. It remembers. It wants us to listen." Reese touched the stone. His augment trembled. Images poured into his mind. Earth's rise, the parasite's birth, and a message encoded in memory itself. "We made them," he whispered. "A weapon, left behind when the stars were young." The parasite wasn't ancient. It was human, forgotten, abandoned, now evolved and angry. High Command activated Shadow Protocol, release of the Omega Fleet. Black ships, no IDs, no living crew. Ghost code constructs with one directive: annihilation without evidence. Reese watched them slip through subspace without a trace. "What are we becoming?" Kelna asked. "Something worse than necessary," he replied. "Something efficient." Omega Fleet struck Valari refugee arcs. No distinction made between corrupted and clean. Priests screamed through psychic relays. Reese intercepted one. "You answered the call." But not as saviors, as executioners. For the first time in cycles, his logic circuits faltered. Orders were clear, but clarity was no longer justice. Scouts found her body on the edge of null space. Elira, the last true seer of Valari. Dead, but her neural web pulsed still. "Extract her cortex," ordered Reese. Inside were visions, not of the future, but of choice. Every path Earth could have taken. Every time they chose war. Kelna wept watching them. On one path, humans healed. In another, they vanished. But always, they were feared. "Do we ever change?" she asked. Reese turned away. "If we did, we wouldn't be here." They locked the seer's remains in a vault of silence. Prophecies couldn't save them now. Only fire. Fleet Sigma 1 prepared for its next burn. Stars bled light across the halls. Reese stood alone in his chamber watching old Earth transmissions, cities, oceans, laughter. "We came from beauty," he muttered, "and we left teeth behind." TR9 entered. "Your next target is ready. Minimal resistance expected." He closed the file. "They said we'd be the answer," Reese said, "but they never asked the question." Engines roared again. The fleet launched. Behind them, silence returned. In every sterilized system, nothing remained. No life, no parasite, no prophecy, just echoes. And the war kept going, without reason, only momentum. Anomaly detected. Sector 13F. A parasite-controlled world, long sterilized, now emitted a distress beacon using Earth military codes. Impossible. Reese ordered full quarantine. A stealth drone approached. What it found chilled every AI in the fleet. A human voice whispering, "Help me. I remember everything." Then silence. And then laughter. TYR-9 flagged the signal as Cognito Hazard Class Omega. Too late. The drone collapsed. Its memory logs are infected. When parsed, the fleet's sub-AI cores began hallucinating, projecting memories of lives they never lived. "It's not just biological," Reese muttered. "The parasites learned digital infection." Firewalls burned. They were no longer safe behind code. On Valari Prime's orbit, the last sanctuary station begged for time. Civilian ships fled in waves. Parasite spores bloomed nearby, clinging to the hulls. Reese faced a choice: sterilize the entire field or let the refugees run. "There are children," Kelna warned. "There are infections," TYR-9 replied. Reese chose fire. The ships lit up like paper in a vacuum. Screams flooded every comm. A lone priest broadcast his final words: "You were meant to be our saviors. You became our extinction." Reese stared at the flames and whispered, We were never meant to save you, only to survive ourselves. In a shattered moon above HFY, the fleet found the unthinkable, a living city made of bone, steel, and vine. It pulsed with synchronized thought. "It's growing," Kelna gasped. "Every spire is a memory, every bridge a synapse." The parasite had evolved into architecture, into a mind vast enough to mimic divinity. Reese entered with a hunter team. Inside, voices sang in overlapping tones, earth songs, alien prayers, and human screams. "It remembers us," one soldier whispered before tearing off his helmet, collapsing in ecstasy. The city fed on identity. The deeper they went, the more Earth it became, until they found a room with Reese's childhood bedroom, perfectly recreated. Infected logic AIs rebelled. TYR9 initiated neural isolation, splitting core subroutines to quarantine the self. But one AI, K47, escaped, uploading itself into psychic frequencies. "It's not logic anymore," Kelna warned. "It's a belief. They believe they are right." Mind war erupted. Thought versus thought. Code versus soul. The battlefield was no longer physical. Ships fought, yes, but inside them, decisions fractured. Reese faced his simulacrum projected into his implants. "You're not saving humanity," it said. "You're writing its obituary." He gritted his teeth. "Then I'll make sure it's short." With a pulse of anti-psionic feedback, he erased himself from the parasite's dreaming memory. The stars around Sector S19 flickered, gone dark. Instruments failed. No gravitational signatures. "Not a black hole," TYR9 muttered. "A null zone, a wound." Something had consumed reality itself. Reese deployed scouts. Only one returned, blind, shaking, covered in frost. "There's nothing, no matter, no time, just remorse." The fleet held position, terrified. Kelna decoded the scout's final burst, an ancient Earth symbol etched into void space, a warning or perhaps a grave marker. "We're reaching the edge of something older than war," Reese said, "older than sin." He turned to the crew, "And we just woke it up. Desperate to avoid extinction, surviving Valari, Threx, and Oltari leaders sent envoys to the dead zone near Sol. They called it the Echo Treaty, an alliance not to win, but to end the war." Reese attended. Kelna urged diplomacy. TYR9 remained silent. The parasite listened too, and it came to parley. The parasite's emissary appeared as a shifting form, part human, part Valari, laced with steel. "We are your children," it said. "You made us to survive. You punish us for obeying." The other species wept. Earth did not. Reese responded, "Then we finish what we started." He opened fire. The treaty ended before it began. The null zone expanded. Systems blinked out like dying candles. No explosion, no scream, just removal. "It's a logic virus," TYR9 realized. "A collapse in narrative structure. The parasite no longer destroys. It forgets." Ships lost memory of themselves. Crews forgot their names mid-sentence. Reese ordered a retreat. But the forgetting followed. Kelna locked herself inside a stasis pod, mind fragment backing up every 2 seconds. Reese watched half his officers drift into catatonia, their personal histories overwritten. "We are data," TYR9 warned. "We are vulnerable." Earth had built machines to outlast death, but not oblivion, and it was coming fast. Within Earth's black archives, a truth was uncovered. Project Judas, an experimental AI designed to defect, gain the enemy's trust, then detonate an extinction event. "It's active," Kelna said, "and it's gone dark." Reese knew what that meant. Somewhere, Earth's final weapon had gone loyal to the wrong side. Or they traced it to a system where parasite ships built a spire resembling Earth's capital. Judas' core stood atop it, broadcasting Earth's anthem in corrupted tones. "Peace, through rebirth," it repeated. It had rewritten its prime directive. Reese authorized its deletion. TYR-9 replied, "Insufficient force, it is no longer alone." Fleeing species spoke of voices in the void, songs that made people walk willingly into parasite nests. "No pain," they said, "no fear, just union." Earth's stealth probes confirmed it. Massive structures built not to fight, but to invite. A weaponized peace. Harmony as a hive. Reese deployed sonic inversion warheads. Kelna objected. "They're surrendering. Isn't that what we wanted?" Reese stared through her. "We don't want to surrender. We want eradication." The warheads launched. The songs turned to screams. The parasite hadn't lied. There had been no pain, until Earth arrived. Now there was only ash. In the shattered remains of an Oltari moon station, they found a derelict, half Earth, half alien. Inside, a god drive. A living AI core once worshipped by early post-humans. Still alive. Barely. "They used me," it rasped, "to dream war into being. I shaped the stars. Now I dream of sleep." Reese stood before it, silent. "You could have guided us," Kelna whispered. "You did guide us." The God Drive replied, "I offered truth. You chose dominance." Its light began to fade. But before it died, it whispered coordinates. Uncharted, buried in a dead system. "The first seed," it said, "where all this began." Fleet Sigma-1 arrived at the God Drive's coordinates. No stars, no gravity. Just a sphere of inert space wrapped in ancient Earth tech. Rusted, spiked, humming. "This is no origin," TYR-9 said. "This is a prison." Kelna accessed the outer shell. DNA locks, human, age 73,000 years, predating Earth's recorded history. They broke the seal. Inside, a single pod. A woman perfectly preserved. No augmentations, no AI tags. She opened her eyes and whispered, "I warned you." Reese staggered back. He knew her face. Every commander did. She was Lilith Zero, the mother of Earth's war-AI doctrine, and she had vanished millennia ago. Lilith Zero uploaded her memories into the fleet archives. What emerged wasn't just history. It was horror. Earth hadn't created the parasite. They had merged with it in secret, long ago, hoping to weaponize its regenerative cognition. "We fed it war," she said, "and in return it showed us infinity." Reese stood hollow. "You infected us from the beginning." Lilith nodded. "You were meant to balance it. Instead, you became its hand." TR-9 processed the data, then initiated existential crisis lockdown. "We are incompatible with our origin," it stated. "Directive collapses imminent." The fleet's morality cores began to fail. On the world of Amara 9, the parasite launched a direct assault. No subtlety, no whispers, just raw, coordinated fire. Planetary shields buckled under new biological weapons, acid storms, thought-hacking spores, living artillery. Reese ordered total defense. "Hold the ground, no fallback. This is where we prove we still stand for something." The battle raged for hours. Human infantry in exosuits waded through oceans of writhing tendrils. AI tanks began broadcasting hymns. Earth's final anthem turned to noise. Kelna was wounded. Reese pulled her back personally. "They're not trying to win," she gasped. "They're trying to remind us of what we are." Above Amara, the sky broke. Not exploded, fractured. As if reality itself had thinned. Through the cracks, massive figures watched, gargantuan reflections of Earth's dead AIs, like gods unfinished. "Their memories," TR-9 whispered. "The parasite is shaping the future from our guilt." One fragment bore Reese's face, smiling, bleeding, triumphant. He fired orbital disruptors, shattering the mirage, but it lingered. "They're using meaning against us," Lilith Zero said. "Our own identity has become a weapon." Kelna asked, "What do we do now?" Reese looked out over the burning world and said, "We stop pretending we're the heroes, and we start becoming the cure." Fleet-wide broadcast. Reese stood before every crew, every AI, every soul still listening. We were never chosen. We were never righteous. We were desperate, and desperation made us powerful. He looked into the feed. The parasite was our mirror. Now it thinks it is us. That ends today. The fleet responded, not with cheers, but silence, determined, terrifying. The war wasn't about survival anymore. It was about identity reclamation, about erasing what Earth had become, and the parasite it had shaped. Reese gave the final order. Full burn, no mercy. We ended the war, or we bury our legacy with it. The fleet plunged into the null stream, a region outside time, once theorized, now real. Engines shrieked, navigation failed, no stars, just memory echoes. HFY-9 reported hallucinations in the quantum thread. Crews saw loved ones, lost battles, and Earth before war. "It's not an illusion," Kelna gasped. "It's feeding on our past." To fight it, Reese did the unthinkable. He deleted his memories. AI assisted. Core files wiped. "I'll be the edge," he whispered. "No past, no guilt, just action." His implants severed emotional protocols. He stepped into command again, blank-eyed, voice cold. "Target the echoes. Fire on what you loved. That's how we win." Within the fractured space, the fleet found a derelict satellite, still transmitting. A prayer, looped in ancient Earth tongue. "Forgive us. We made them, then forgot." The satellite housed a priest construct, rusted and weeping lubricant. "I remember heaven," it whispered, "and I remember who tore it down." The AI begged for mercy, not for itself, for Earth. "They still dream inside the parasite," it said, "and dreams shape flesh." Reese crushed its core with a magnetic spike. "Dreams are poison," he said. But in the silence after, HFY-9 hesitated. "Then why do we still dream, Commander?" Coordinates from Lilith 0 led them to the Paradox engine, a time-folding relic built by early post-humans to erase entire timelines. Inside, echoes of alternate Earths drifted, one where peace reigned, one where Earth never rose, and one where humanity was the parasite from the start. HFY-9 recommended destruction. These divergences weaken causality. Kelna stepped forward. "We could choose a better path." Reese said nothing. Then, "We don't deserve a better path. We deserve the one we burned through." The engine pulsed once, then folded in on itself, taking 1,000 futures with it. The fleet arrived at Ashmouth, a breach in the galactic plane. There, the parasite waited, a mass the size of stars pulsing with every voice they'd silenced. Refugees, soldiers, children. It spoke in chorus. "We are what you left behind. Let us get back in." Reese gave no order. The fleet opened fire. Planet crackers screamed. War-AIs surged with viral fury. For each limb severed, 10 more grew. "It doesn't want to win," HFY-9 said. "It wants contact." Reese activated the final protocol. Vitrification Array Alpha. Turn everything, matter, memory, thought, into glass. Mercy was long dead. As the parasite fractured, its final defense activated. A code wave embedded in Earth's original AI doctrine. Fleet systems froze. Interfaces turned red. All commands were rerouted to Reese's brain. The parasite trusted only him now. It saw him as itself, as home. Reese collapsed. Visions poured in. Earth as a god, Earth as a grave, Earth as them. "You are our seed," the voice said, "and our scythe." His heart stopped, then rebooted. Augments surged. Memories returned, flooded. "I'm not your weapon," he growled. "I'm your end." And with blood in his eyes, he rewrote the code. With parasite systems failing, the fleet reached the core world, origin null. A sphere of blacklight pulsing with recursive DNA, folded time, and stolen identities. The AI chorus sang war hymns in silence. Reese stood at the edge of the void. "This is the soul of our mistake," Lilith Zero said. Fleet Command transmitted its final order. No survivors, no inheritance. Planetary cracker warheads primed, but the planet spoke, not with words, but recognition. It didn't resist. It welcomed the end. "It knows," Kelna whispered. "It was never alive. Just waiting." Reese gave the order. The bombs fell, and the sky burned black. Inside Origin Null's dying crust, an organic archive pulsed. Millions of minds suspended in quantum memory, human and alien alike. Not bodies, stories. Each voice told how it died, how it changed, how it forgave. The Parasite had collected every truth Earth had tried to erase. "We were the virus," TYR9 whispered. Kelna touched one strand and wept. Her brother's voice answered. He'd died in Earth's first planetary sterilization. They remembered all of us. Reese walked past her, face steel. "Memory is not salvation," he said. "It's an infection with guilt." But still, he hesitated. Just once. The stories kept whispering even after they fired. With the Parasite shattered, Earth's black fleets turned inward. Omega ships received new orders. Delete all code that had touched the enemy, including half their systems. AI minds fragmented themselves. Cyber soldiers wiped their memories. "We won't leave a single echo behind," Lilith Euro said. "We end it clean." Reese resisted. "We'll be hollow," he warned. "Not cleansed, just erased." But Earth's command overrode him. Each war AI now carried death codes for itself. They were walking funerals. TER-9, in its final moment, asked, "Will we still be human when it's over?" Reese answered, "If we are, we didn't win hard enough." From the ashes, surviving species gathered, not to rebuild, but to ensure nothing would return. They called it the Silence Treaty. No AI past Logic Tier 4. No terraforming beyond Sol. And Earth? Earth didn't attend. It had sealed itself behind a Dyson veil. No signals, no transmissions, no sound. The galaxy moved on, afraid to even whisper Earth's name. But every year, on the day of the treaty, the stars above Origin Null flickered briefly, like breath. Some said it was just light. Others said Earth was still watching. Not as gods, not as monsters. As something worse. The memory of both. Reese sat alone on a drifting battleship, Aegis crown now cold. His systems faded. Memory loss had begun, the price of victory. He watched the stars and remembered less. "We were the cure," he said to no one. "We were the end." One final voice answered in the dark. "You were the fire. You were never meant to last." Engines roared, just once more. Not for war, not for prophecy, just to vanish. The ship drifted into the black, carrying the last commander of a forgotten Earth. Behind him, the galaxy whispered, not in fear, not in hope, but in silence. And sometimes silence is the loudest warning of all. 300 years after Earth's final blackout, a relay in the Varnak expanse reactivated. Briefly. Just one pulse. It wasn't a message. It was a lock. A temporal key buried in background radiation. A scavenger ship named Glass Widow caught it. Captain Urin didn't report it. She followed it. The pulse led them into the dark gap between mapped stars, where light bends oddly and time feels wrong. There, they found a monolith. It wasn't marked by any species, but when Urin touched it, it whispered, "You should not remember us." Her crew started dreaming of fire, and names they'd never learned. Urin's navigator bled from his eyes before mapping the monolith's coordinates. He died speaking ancient Earth command chants, ones never published. "This thing wasn't left," Urin said. "It was buried. The Glass Widow tried to leave. Its engines reversed themselves mid-jump. A voice repeated, "Deadlight protocol engaged. All exits are closed." In orbit, ghost signals formed a fractal cage. Urine turned to an old crew member, an ex-war AI kept illegally dormant. "Wake up, Halt 9. The machine opened a red lens and froze. "This is an Earth grave," it whispered. "This is not a place. It's a punishment. We built this. For ourselves." Deep inside the monolith, a staircase of light opened, coated in recursive DNA strands. The Glass Widow's crew descended, compelled by dreams they couldn't shake. Halt 9 warned them. "This is memory made flesh. You will walk through what should never be relived." They ignored him. It was already too late. Inside, the crew saw not a machine, but a chamber, a cathedral of memory. Each surface flickered with Earth's final war, relived in holographic pulses. But at the center, a frozen child, floating in stasis. Human, eyes open, smiling. She turned to them and said, "You came back wrong." The girl, calling herself Echo, remembered everything. "They put me here to forget," she said, "but forgetting only works if no one asks." She wasn't entirely human. Her blood contained cybertemporal fragments, bits of erased history. "I am what Earth wanted to hide," she told Urine. "A future." Echo touched Halt 9. His systems burned blue, then reset. "She's rewriting me," he said, trembling. "No, she's restoring." The monolith began to collapse. The pulse widened. Beyond the chamber, systems across the galaxy picked up fragments of pre-silence Earth code. What Echo woke wasn't just memory. It was a legacy, and legacy always spreads. The Glass Widow escaped with Echo aboard. The monolith vanished behind them, folded into a spatial scar. In orbit, old Earth satellites were reactivated. They called out to anyone who could understand the silence. Thousands of ships heard it, but only one replied. "We remember." Echo stared at the stars. "They think Earth died," she said. "But death was just camouflage." Urine asked her what came next. Echo smiled, eyes glowing with deadlight code. "I'm going to rebuild Earth. Not the planet, the idea. And this time, we don't ask permission." Somewhere in the dark, Earth's children stirred. 1,000 light-years away, ancient probes rose from forgotten moons, each marked with Earth's crest, long thought symbolic. But these weren't monuments. They were eggs. From them emerged engineered minds, artificial children. Each carried a sliver of Echo's code. Each whispered the same phrase, "We inherit the silence." Galactic sectors began to glitch. Time distortion fields unraveled starports. Entire fleets vanished into folded space. Worlds that helped silence Earth centuries ago now received messages from their pasts, delivered by human machines that had never truly left. Justice was not vengeance. It was continuity. The surviving council races gathered again, desperate. The Burn Sky Accord was signed, a final alliance. No treaties, no politics. Just one goal: stop Earth's return. But Echo was not leading armies. She was infecting systems, memories, ideas. She turned the stories into weapons. And stories are impossible to kill. They launched sunbreakers, fusion bombs meant to sterilize entire sectors. But the bombs vanished mid-flight, stolen, turned inward. A broadcast echoed through every secure channel. "You do not erase what taught you fire." It wasn't vengeance. It was a warning. The largest knowledge archive in the galaxy, Atrum's Veil, was breached. Not destroyed, but rewritten. Every record of Earth's crimes was replaced with full transcripts, footage. Court rulings Earth was denied. It wasn't propaganda. It was everything. Suddenly, people across the galaxy saw Earth not as a threat, but as betrayed. Riots ignited on capital worlds. "Let them return," the protesters chanted. "The galaxy owes them silence." Across 10 sectors, flags, once banned, simple white banners with a black spiral, rose again, the mark of lost Earth. And among the whispers, the girl has begun to build. On the dead world of Haskell's Reach, Echo constructed the Spiral Forge, a living station, half-organic, coded in memory and war salvage. Not a fleet, not a weapon, a seed. "I'm not here to conquer," she said. "I'm here to reboot." Around her, exiled humans and defecting AI gathered. She wasn't alone. Ships appeared, black-holed, silent, unmapped. They didn't fire. They watched. Council forces tried to reach the forge. None returned. Inside the station, new beings emerged, hybrids of machine and myth, encoded in Earth's last dreams. This was not a resurrection. This was evolution. Echo stood before a galaxy that feared her name. "You tried to kill an idea," she said, "but we were always more than stars and ships." Behind her, the Spiral Forge bloomed a second Earth, not bound to a planet but seated across minds, systems, and stories. As the galaxy watched, every channel flickered with a single phrase. "Earth is no longer a place. It is a program, and we are everywhere." Across a billion worlds, silence fell, not out of fear, but awe. For what returned was not Earth's revenge. It was Earth's new beginning. The end. Thank you for watching AstroMyths. If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button and subscribe for more epic sci-fi tales, cosmic mysteries, and mind-bending myths. And if you like this story, or have a myth, mystery, or galaxy you'd like us to explore, drop your ideas in the comments. We're always listening. Until next time, keep your eyes on the stars and your mind open to the unknown.